Hello everyone. Buongiorno. How are you? Did you had your morning coffee already? Well, it's before 11, so you still can get cappuccino. Not everyone know that rule. We didn't yesterday, but yeah, it's great to be here. It's my first time in Turin. Apparently, my father had a Fiat Mirafiori, which is from here. I saw the Mirafiori yesterday on a train, so it's good to be here. There's some connection. Also, I'm native. Did you get it? I'm native Italian already. But okay. So today I will talk about TextKit2. Does anyone from the audience know anything about TextKit2? Raise your hand. Okay, so I can say anything. That's good. Do you know TextKit1? It's even better. There's one guy over there. Do you know Cortex? Oh yeah, that's good. I was here with the Cortex talk last year, so I guess you know. My name is Marcin Krzyzanowski. Just a small introduction. You're gonna find me here. I work at Judo. Judo is an awesome product. You should check it out. I work on a Mac app. It's a server-driven UI solution for your next application, probably. There's my Twitter, my GitHub, and my website, where on my website you will find some Cortex introduction on my blog, so you may want to check it. So about TextKit. TextKit is a system, the framework of the layout of text. It's been with us for over 20 years, TextKit1, starting OpenStep. And just last year, Apple introduced us to TextKit2, which is the new iteration of TextKit. And they did soft launch. They kind of introduced the API, but the majority of the API is supported on the macOS, as they say. In fact, the API is available on iOS and macOS, but only macOS got the support for the Textview, this component for editing text. As Apple say, we interact with TextKit2 engine since macOS 11, which is macOS Big Sur. But there was private API and now it is public. Today I'm going to talk about TextKit2 only. I'm not going to talk about TextKit1. You can forget TextKit1. It will be good if we all forgot about TextKit1 soon. Really, TextKit2 is very easy API comparing to TextKit1. The agenda for today is, that was overview. There will be live coding. It's not really live. I pre-recorded that, but also a little bit speed up yesterday because it turns out this talk will be very long. I will go over some of the main API. Then we'll show how to use that with Textview. Then we will implement the custom Textview that uses the engine. And I don't know, we over time, so you will just skip the coffee break, I guess. It's not me, it's Shy. Yeah. Basic architecture. So we have a Cortex that is the C API and is core of any text layout on macOS and iOS. Then we have a TextKit1 that is softly deprecated already. Like will be next year, I guess they will say something from the stage in the June that from now on just use TextKit2. We have a TextKit2, the new kit on the block, and TextKit2 is available on both platforms. But only one AppKit got this launch, the support for Textview. If we look at the Cortex system, I cross out two elements here because those are the elements that we no longer have to deal with: glyph generator, typesetter. It's quite low-level stuff to think about text. Glyphs are these little curves from font, and from text in TextKit2 you have to build final character dealing with glyphs. There's no longer need to think about it. We only have a text container. It's like a text, like a view for text. Text storage, data source, layout manager. Everything happens here. And text views. That's all. Depends on the platform. We have text input, but it really depends on the platform. Those are all types that take part in TextKit2. It's like a 13 classes. Some of it are just protocols. So we have a NS text container. That's the one you know probably. This is the one that is shared with TextKit2 because it's just a container. Then we have a NS text content manager, it's the protocol, and NS text content storage is the implementation of this protocol. It's a data source. This is where the strings text comes from. NS text element, very abstract class. I think it's class. It says, yeah, text element, a text element, any. And specific implementation, NS text paragraph. We have, it's very handy. It implements the paragraph. So it gives us paragraphs of text. Then there's the NS text selection. It describes the selection, text location, range. It's self-explanatory. From the controller part is NS text layout manager. Everything happens here. I will show you everything happens here. Text layout manager. This is the most important one. Fragment. It's like a piece of text, line, piece of fragment. Viewport layout controller. This is new. Viewport is, what does it say? Viewport. Piece of canvas that is visible and where we draw layout text. And NS text selection navigation. This is awesome class. This class provides very intuitive and very useful API to manage all kind of selection. Whether you want to select a word, move to the end of the line, something. There's very straightforward API. You just use that and it will return the range or the selection. Let's start with this NS Textview. This is macOS, but really if you don't have experience with the macOS, it's similar on iOS. On iOS there will be UI text view, right? And everything is the same. I use the light theme of Xcode. I know it's savage, but that's how I deal. This is how we set up the TextKit2 code. So first, text layout manager container. Add the container to the layout manager storage, which is the data source, and add text layout manager to the storage. Like, you have to do that. It cannot be done from XIP for interface builder because interface builder do not provide the constructor for TextKit2. NS Textview has this new constructor, this one, frame and text container. That will say to TextKit2, use the TextKit2 engine instead of TextKit1. Then there's boilerplate. Blah, blah, blah. And we have a text view, right? It's simple. I didn't expect that. Yeah, we can. So we have working text. It looks the same, so there's no difference yet. Now let's add a color. I set the text lorem ipsum dollar sit element, and want to add a red color to the first word, lorem, just lorem. This API provides us with the rendering attributes. This is something that if you know macOS, there were templates attributes, but now it's multi-platform. Rendering attributes, the attributes that are available only on the layout side, so it does not modify the storage, which is important from the performance. Like you don't really want to mutate state all the time. This kind of state bar, you don't have to mutate the storage. You just can have this rendering time attributes. Location and location, text range, all the, so NS text range, I build an NS text range and add the rendering attributes to the layout. Now, now I will run. Yeah, it doesn't. What happened? Okay, I thought I can. Here we go again. Okay, I thought that I can just pause it for a while, but apparently I don't. Yeah, so a bit more about rendering attributes. Rendering attributes are the attributes that are not part of the data store, you use storage. And your storage can be anything. From TextKit1, you know NSText storage, but it's no longer a thing. You don't have to. It don't have to be. It can be anything. It can be string, as long as you implement the NS Content Manager protocol. Okay. Again, range, NSText range. You know, this API is kind of similar to a string in Swift. There's offset calculation from the location. Everything is abstract. Yeah, and a text range. Now I'm going to run, and you'll see if it works as expected. It is not. Yeah, this is the live coding part. Oh, see, I only add the attribute. No. Look, I only add the attribute to the first word, but the whole line is red, and when I select, it lost the color, right? It's just a bug. Yeah, so this is a bug in the NS Textview. The workaround requires some overriding some functions. It can be done, but this selection was fixed for a while, I think in 12.2, but now it's again broken. So this color is, yeah, it doesn't work as expected. If not rendering attributors, I can go the old way and try to add the attributes to the storage, NS text storage, NS storage, text storage. Yeah? So use the old way, text storage, add the attribute, but I modify the storage. I need the NS range. The NS range, of course, is from different worlds, so I have this extension, handy extension that convert one range to another range. It just calculates offset and length for NS range. And this should work better. And I used that, and I was quite happy when I found the workaround for the previous bug that it works. And for a couple of days, I was happy. See, yeah, it's for the first. Yeah, that's fine because I use the set attribute, so it's reset font. I will change that to add attributes, so you will see that this is the expected output. First word, lorem, is red. Yep, that's fine. So this is great, but it reboot. I think my Mac just reboot. How do you like the wallpaper? Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just beach ball. Yeah, it's beach ball. It's the newest Mac. Sorry, I have to reboot that. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Let's me. Okay, so maybe anyone has a joke or something to say? No? Okay, it will take a second. Yeah. While we wait, how I learn other things. So over the time of a few months, I try to implement the coding editor, and I went the journey from TextKit1 to implementing my own custom text layout. And when they announced the TextKit2, I said, okay, I'm jumping that bandwagon. It really looks like my broken implementation, so it should be better. And it was for a while. Okay, I think we were here. Yeah. That's fast, right? What I'm going to do here is, you know how the highlighting works? When you highlight code, you type something, and slightly afterwards, some color is added to the text. I will try to simulate this in this method. So this delegate text did change. So on a keystroke, I will update the storage. By update, I mean just randomly every 50 characters put a red color and do it with this slight delay after the keystroke, so simulate the updating. I do it to show you something, because that's very important. You will lose a lot of time if you will not get this knowledge from me. I lost. Okay, this live coding is awesome. 50, yeah. And 5. Yeah, that's how it's. Oh yeah, and of course, now it should be 100 here. Yeah, now, look. There's a lot of text. I'm just scrolling and pressing, and just carefully look what's happening with the text. You see, it jump. I press and it jump. Sometimes it jump for no reason. So the offset jumps. Right? You can't use that. You can't ship that to the production. So it got me off the guard, because when I was testing that, I only used the very short text, and it worked. And then I opened that with the longer content, and oh, Jesus, right? That's not going to work. So what are my options? Over the time, this is the list of issues for the TextKit2 I reported so far. Some of them back to me that work as designed, but not necessarily as documented. The documentation is a bit out of date. Like you can see, there's a method that is documented, but it's not in the API. Like that's the fact. Sometimes some methods does nothing. So there's API, but there's no implementation behind it. They don't use that. So I don't know. The NX text view in the TextKit2 mode does not work. Doesn't have the full, don't provide all the features. Like when I wanted to customize insert point, normally I will override the draw insert point, but in TextKit2 mode, it just is never called. So yeah, that's a bummer. And there's more. But stick with the NS text view just for 2 more minutes. I want to show you how to use this TextKit2 API to extend the view. So we have a content manager and content manager delegate. Layout manager delegate. Viewport layout delegate. So you get the drill. It's composed by the delegates. And how we use that? Just provide the delegate for the text content storage. What I'm going to do here, I will hide one line from the text. there's a handy function should enumerate, and this return true or false. So what I want to do is I want to find this line where what start with values, which is the second from the bottom. And if I have that one, I would just return false. So it should be just skipped. Yeah, I get the text paragraph. It has the attributed string, value, blah, blah. Contains values. Yep, blah. And you see it's missing here. There's empty space. So layout manager took it into account. Everything works, except there is no this line. So that's the one way to deal with that. The other thing is, I forgot. Yeah. By default, there's a text, but I can do anything with this text. With this fragment, they call it fragment. Again, I will customize how this line is presented. So I want to draw rectangle around that, add some spacing, and yeah. And how do I do that? I return my custom NSText layout fragment subclass. So here I initialize that, made my text layout fragment, and below is the implementation of that fragment. In that fragment, yeah, I'm adding padding and margin, so top, bottom, leading, trailing. And when I run, you see, yeah, it's like insert from every side. The selection works, so it's nice. If I want to customize how it looks, actually, I may override a draw method and put the custom drawing over there. It's core graphics. We all know how to use that. What I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm just adding the rectangle underneath a text. The super will draw the text, but my code is just draw ellipses, I think, or just rectangle. Yeah, insert by 5, in my case. Add rectangle, do some coloring, stroke, yeah, new line width. So there's some custom work, but you know, it's separated. Fill color and draw path. All right, and when I run this code, it will, for that line, it was used, see? It's different. It's, I may have multiple, my custom fragments and just return. Depends on the conditions. Layout take it into account, so it resize it. It just works. The last two, not last two, but the viewport, this is the new one. The viewport layout controller is the new thing, and we don't really have a control over that from NSTextview. That's why we go with the custom text view. Also, custom text view is the solution to all the problems. Unfortunately, it requires re-implement NSTextview. My custom view looks like this. It has the text, is in the scroll view. There's a text. This yellow part is a visible area, which is the viewport, like a frame. And on the right, the basic implementation, basic initialization. What I do is this view that has two subviews. One is for the content, for the text, and one is for the selection, when I draw the selection. And the TextKit2 method, the types that has to be there anyway. Then, yeah, and how do I set up the view, the viewport? I set the delegate with two methods. One method that says what is the size of the viewport, which is, I'm for simplifying for text, it's just a frame, but it doesn't have to be. And the other one is to configure and to put the text element on the view. So this is the place where where we actually build the view, and we can customize. Well, it is custom. We can customize. What I do, I create my subview and the layout that just added as a subview of the content view. You know, but it can be anything. I can draw it by hand. I can do whatever I want. It's a configuration. This is the entry point. It's like a configuration for the cell in table view. So yeah, I have a fragment view. It will be my fragment view that the implementation will come below. I implement that with the layout fragment. The layout fragment comes from Layout Manager, and it has all the properties. It has the location, the content, like everything, the bounds for the text, everything you need to draw text, to draw this fragment of the storage. Oh yeah, NS view, it's flipped, but that's the macOS thing. Initialize with the layout fragment. Here, this is the fragment. I don't know if you see this red area. This is the fragment. So it's not the line, maybe more than just a line, but this is the fragment that I will put on the screen. So it's just a view. It doesn't really have to be. This is what I do. Okay. And yeah, I may have multiple, depends on the text element, depends on the location. I can customize that in many, many ways. This is the single entry point to do the layout. Okay. And full implementation on this fragment view will be like this. I override the draw method where I do some custom thing and call layout fragment draw at in context. This is where I reach to TextKit engine. I don't care about the drawing letters. This is how I draw the letters from the layout fragment. So I can do anything else, and just where I want to put the text, I call this layout draw. To work all of that, you have to track the scroll view, the offset, update the offset. So, you know, there's a lot of mechanicry that has to be done. I skipped that part, but this is how it works. While you scroll, the viewport you update the viewport, and the viewport update the visible area. So only portion of the text is currently at the screen. Just a bit about fragments. I mentioned this fragment. So fragment is like 2 lines here is a paragraph. It comes from the NSText paragraph. But fragment itself has line fragments. And line fragments are the actual lines in the layout. Like here, we see it's wrapped. And this single fragment is wrapped in 2 lines. This is why the fragment has 2 lines. It's quite important distinction. While on that, a few days ago, James Dempsey asked, is it easy to add line numbering to the custom text view? And yeah, I think it is. I will show you using the knowledge we already had and the fragments thing. That's basically the code to enumerate and to calculate the line numbers and put it on the right position. What do we have? First is enumerate text layout fragments. So get me all the fragments with the option ensure layout and ensure extra
extra line fragment. Extra line fragment is the one on the bottom. If you work with the text editor, you notice that when you go at the bottom, there's no really text, but there's something. It's called extra line fragment, but it's handled by the layout manager. So I have a fragment. I get the lines. I'm only interested on the first line in the fragment, because maybe multiple. I'm only interested on the first line. And I use the Cortex to draw the text, but you can do whatever you want to draw the actual line number. And this is a loop. It works. This is how it works in production. This is real code implementation, custom text view with the line numbering, like you can see on the left. So yeah, I think it's quite straightforward how to build a line numbering. And there's the selection part. For the selection, we use NSText Selection Navigator. Everything happens here. It's really, really awesome API. On the right, on this video, you can see I implemented that selection with just that API. Like this return the selection at the point, at the mouse point. Some anchors, doesn't matter. The thing is, it will return the selection class, and selection has a range and location. That's all, and I just update that. Here, select word. It's only 2 lines, actually just 1 line of text. Text selection for word and closing my location, and that's all. It will return the range for a word. Well, that's awesome, right? But because normally I would do a lot of work, I would put a lot of effort to just analyze the text, but here the text selection do all the work for me. So again, this is all API you have to know, really nothing more. I skip a lot of parts. If you're interested in how it is built in the production, I actually made a project. It's called ST Textview. The goal is to re-implement NS Textview with the Textview 2, TextKit2, and it works. I use that in one of my projects. You will find all the quirks. There are comments in the code. If you're interested to, that's not me. That's not me. If you're interested to learn how to build that, how to build a custom text view, just go ahead and and look at this. This thank you shouldn't be here, but the further reading, there's only one WWDC session about TextKit2. It's called, I don't know why this thank you is here. It's called Meet TextKit2, and this is the whole documentation about TextKit2. There is a sample code using TextKit2 on Turin with text. I encourage you to check it out. It's quite good. It's for macOS and iOS. Beside that, there's no documentation. Well, the documentation is either quite vague or wrong. The forum is non-existing. People ask questions and there are no answers. I don't know. So yeah, it will take some time to understand what's going on. There's a Cortex architecture guide as an overview about the text interaction. It's a good document. All documentation, every old Apple documentation is quite good. I encourage you to check it out. There's this ST Textview component of mine. Go check it out. And and if you have more questions and you don't want to ask here, you can reach me on Twitter, DM me, or over email. Thank you.